We are slowly forgetting what real love is. Society is assaulting us from all forms of media, telling us that love is this incredible thing of physical intimacy or a warm feeling that we get when thinking about another person. Infatuation has replaced dedication, and relationships fall apart at the first sign of trouble. While I do think that the things previously stated are elements of real romantic love, they are not the whole. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy, is not boastful, is not arrogant, is not rude, is not self-serving, is not irritable, and does not keep a record of wrongs. Love rejoices in the truth, it bears all things and endures all things. Love never ends. Whether or not you agree with the teachings of the Bible, I think that this paraphrasing has a beauty to it and describes something that most people want: to be truly known, accepted, and cared for who they are and for as long as they live. In a good romance story, the desire for this type of relationship draws a couple together, and we see their relationship grow and unfold into something both exciting and beautiful. This type of relationship, however, does not come easily. A major element of HoriMiya and its story is challenging our perception of the people around us and learning to love and enjoy people for who they are. Initially, Hori and Miyamura's impressions of each other is just what they see on the surface. Miyamura is a depressive loner, and Hori is the perfect, pretty girl. This perception is slowly broken down as the two spend more time together. Even at the start of the series, we see these hints at a desire for relational intimacy with each other. Instead of the typical obsessive infatuation that one character lavishes upon another, we see an equal growth of affection. Hori and Miyamura both accept each other for who they are, which is something that Miyamura has never experienced before. This acceptance from Hori leads to Miyamura being more open about himself with other people, and he's able to make friends that he would not have made otherwise, or not as quickly. When I fall in love, it is not because the beloved is the one who best satisfies my needs. The fall into love redefines who I am. It redefines my needs and potentials. Whether it is with people or media, what we invest our time into begins to affect us. It can draw out the best in us, or the worst. Disagreeing is an inevitability when around people for long enough. Everyone has ideas and beliefs, and everyone thinks that theirs is right. When a disagreement turns into conflict is when we fail at proper communication in order to reach a resolution. In most romance anime, this manifests as an argument. Wrong assumptions, undisclosed feelings, or conflicting ideas cause characters to clash with each other. Couples often argue around the actual issue that they want to address, but as their relationship grows, we should see them grow in their ability and comfortability in communicating how they actually feel. In Frieren, Fern and Stark, and Frieren are immature kids when it comes to discussing their feelings. A conflict or issue arises, and Fern shuts down completely and takes out her frustrations on Stark, leaving him to try and guess what he did wrong and to figure out a way to atone for it. While I think that this works for the characters within Frieren, it is not a recipe for success for relationships. Instead of letting these feelings fester into disdain or waiting for someone else to act as a negotiator, Hori and Miyamura bring up their differences and work them out. They often take the initiative by bringing it up before circumstances force them to do so. This completely avoids the frustration of an often simple miscommunication issue that many stories lazily fall back on. While there are certainly lots of simple miscommunication issues that real couples experience, These issues more often than not are stretched past what is believable or enjoyable within a story, at least for me. Relationships that lack the initiative and grit to admit fault and to discuss their feelings are not going to last. An obvious and important element in relationships is support and care. Skippin' Loafer has a scene which I believe portrays this idea very well. In this segment, Yuzuki is putting on an art show at her school festival. Throughout the story, it is constantly commented that Yuzuki is pretty and stylish in appearance, and this episode is no different. Many guys come up to her to ask her out, but she turns all of them down. Out of all the guys who asked her out, not a single one of them bothered to look at or comment on her artwork.
めちゃくちゃ顔が死んでたけど大丈夫？今日こういうの5人目くらいで。モテるんだね、ゆずちゃん。でもな、みんな全然見てないのにいい絵だねって言うんだよ。私が一生懸命やったことを適当に扱っておいて、私に興味ありますって言われるのは、なんかそんな嬉しくない。
They were so focused on her looks that they didn't bother to invest in her dreams and interests, which were quite literally on display in front of them. Caring about someone is, in part, wanting to see them happy and to succeed in their dreams. To go back to HoriMiya, Miyamoto gets a pop CD for Hori's birthday since she wanted to know what songs were popular with kids her age.
How strange. I didn't say a word, but he somehow knew this was what I wanted.
Miyamoto had to read between the lines of their interaction and to put thought and effort into what he picked out. He cared enough about Hori to not only listen well to her words, but to remember them. Just being a good listener to other people when they're talking is a simple but effective way to show that you care enough to pay attention. Love, ultimately, is not about what we receive from someone else. In its modern definition, love is defined as a feeling, but I also believe it is, in part, a choice. A person cannot possibly meet all of our needs or wants, nor can we meet all of someone else's needs or wants. But when the going gets tough, do the tough get going? Or do they get uncomfortable, get humble, stick around, and work it out? Do they seek to get as much as they can out of a relationship? Or do they want to serve the other person well and to make them happy? In a healthy relationship, both people seek to outdo one another in love and care. While it is true that some people just aren't well suited for one another, love and relationships are hard, no matter who it's with. If you ask any couple who's been married for an extended period of time how their marriages lasted, the answer is not infatuation. It takes intentionality, communication, care, patience, and humility, among many other things as well. The types of things that, honestly, make for a boring story with general audiences. It isn't just the big moments that matter, but the small everyday choices too. No matter who we love, we ought to do it completely and to do it well. And if we're lucky, truly lucky, then they'll do the same for us too.
For the rest of your life, you'll never regret chasing the thing that you love. Oh, and maybe the crowds won't chant your name, but I'll be right here all along, saying well done. No matter where you go,
Love is so incredibly complex that I cannot hope to cover every aspect of it within the confines of a single video, especially one focused primarily on a specific anime. I can only interpret things through the lens of events that have helped to shape how I view and understand love, and thus am likely misinterpreting or misrepresenting some of the information. My goal is more to share how I view the many romance anime that I have seen, rather than to set definitive ground rules for a genre. I feel that a lot of the romance anime I have seen fails to depict a relationship that would survive outside of the fiction in which it exists. For me, believability is a major part of whether or not I enjoy characters in a story. If you haven't seen HoriMiya, I cannot recommend it enough. It is one of, if not my favorite series that I have seen.